When we talk about the stars of this arc from the ranks of the Shinigami, several specific characters are often mentioned for the great achievements they made. Perhaps the most prominent of them is Mayuri, whose role in certain aspects of this war cannot be denied. However, I believe that Kyoraku Shunsui can be considered one of the characters that truly demonstrated he was a great personality, someone with strong character, and that he didn't obtain the position of Sutaichu by chance, especially in such a critical situation facing the Soul Society. Therefore guys, in this video, we will discuss how this arc shaped and transformed Kyoraku's character, making him face many powerful situations that tested his personality and strength by delving into his past and the twists and turns that built this Shinigami. To begin with guys, it is quite surprising how this person who is now the leader of the Gotei 13 never wanted all the responsibilities he holds now. When we reflect on all the current captains or those who have passed through the history of the Gotei 13, we find that every Shinigami had a specific goal before becoming a captain, or a goal that drove them to want to become a leader or at least to become a Shinigami. For example, Zaraki wanted to become the captain of the 11th division to carry the title of Kinpachi. Komamura became a Shinigami due to his desire to repay Yamamoto, who saved him and accepted him when others had rejected him. Gin wanted to become a Shinigami to avenge Matsumoto for what Aizen did to her. Meanwhile, Okitake, from the moment he learned how he survived, intended to sacrifice his life for the Gotei 13. And there are many other examples that show how most Shinigami had motivations driving them to become Shinigami. But Kyoraku, as we read in his profile, never cared about something like the Gotei 13. He had a life without purpose. He didn't like the academy or the martial arts, even though he belonged to one of the noble families in the Soul Society, a family with a rich history in this art. Thus, unlike many Shinigamis, he was forced to attend the academy. I believe that Kyoraku's close relationship with Yamamoto also played a role in this decision. As I mentioned in previous videos, it became clear after Okitake's flashback that Kyoraku was the closest person to Yamamoto since he was a child, and they shared a father-son-like bond. And as we know, since Yamamoto was the founder of the Shinigami Academy, this might have been another reason that forced him to join the academy. Of course, since Kyoraku was a noble, he naturally had a great spiritual power inherited his family's martial arts skills. However, his personality was lazy and remained unchanged. Yet despite these not so good traits, it can be considered that the arrival of Kyoraku's brother's wife marked a major turning point in his character. The appearance of this character guys also revealed some of Kyoraku's ability to bear responsibility. For those who follow the story, it is known that Kyoraku's brother's marriage to Nanao's mother improved Kyoraku's relationship with his big brother. However guys, when his brother died due to the easy curse that afflicts men of their clan, Kyoraku was gradually given responsibility, though he didn't want it. And also his brother's wife gave him that sword and also the pin as a sign to protect her daughter Nanao. Therefore guys, this excessive responsibility starting from an early age made it clear that Kyoraku had the ability to endure hardships, no matter their nature. And of course, this strong personality progressed alongside his powers. As a Shinigami, it's enough to know that Kyoraku and Okitake were the first Shinigami from the academy to reach the rank of a captain. And we know that the academy is nearly 2000 years old, and the Gotei 13 was founded about 1000 years after the academy was established. And in its early stages, the Gotei 13 was led by captains who were mostly criminals and didn't belong to the academy founded by Yamamoto. However, after the First Quincy War that occurred 1000 years ago, it seems that only a few centuries later Kyoraku and Okitake reached the rank of captain. So I wonder here if Kyoraku passed through all the ranks before becoming a captain, because I would like to know if he was ever a vice captain, like many other captains such as Aizen Sosuke, Gin, Rokia or Lisa, etc. Because if Kyoraku was a vice captain, perhaps he served under Captain Persona Saikatori. I can only imagine how the relationship would have been, especially since we know Kyoraku is a ladies' man. I hope this point will be revealed in upcoming Kyoraku's flashback. Anyway guys, whatever ranks Kyoraku may have held, what we know is that at one point he was appointed captain of the 8th Division. Although Kyoraku was a captain, he maintained his characteristic personality. He was still lazy, loved sucking women, but at the same time he had the strength of a character required of a leader, captain. He also possessed a lot of knowledge, whether about Ukitake in Mihage's identities, the original captains, and the fact that Unohana was the first Kinpachi, or more importantly about the original philosophy of the Gotei 13 and its leader Yamamoto, which included achieving justice, and this was clearly demonstrated during the execution of Roki Kuchiki, when we saw how Kyoraku saw justice and didn't just follow the laws as they were. It became evident that his character wasn't entirely different from the old man's, but it resembled the early thinking of Yamamoto, the mindset with which he first established the Gotei 13, which led to many victories and earned him the acknowledgement of Yamamoto himself for his combat efficiency. And the philosophy that I'm talking about, guys, is about removing the concepts of pride or honor in battle and defeating the enemy to achieve the ultimate goal, the protection of the city, using any means necessary. And this is what Yamamoto did before the First Quincy War. Despite his great power during his battle against Yamamoto, Yamamoto and the other captains fought Yamamoto together, and even Sasakibi stabbed him in the back, and this is considered a type of treachery and dishonor in combat. But the Gotei's mindset at the time was always about achieving the goal, not focusing on how to achieve it. And as Yamamoto said, this policy soon dissolved after the Quincy defeat 1000 years ago, followed by centuries of peace, during which the Gotei 13 weakened by adopting many different views on pride and fighting with honor. However guys, Kyoraku's character wasn't like that. Kyoraku demonstrated that such things didn't exist in his vocabulary. When it comes to battle, Kyoraku would use any means to defeat his opponent, and this is exactly what we have seen in his battle against Shark. Thus this philosophy and mindset were carried by Kyoraku when he became the leader of the Gotei 13, following the old man, Yamamoto. Of course, the circumstances in which Kyoraku was appointed were quite harsh. Kyoraku didn't have the time to mourn the loss of someone who had been like a father and teacher to him. Immediately after Yamamoto's death and destruction of the Soul Society, orders came from the Central 46th Room to appoint Kyoraku as the new leader of the Gotei 13. And speaking about this point guys, previously I was also debating about who is better, Kyoraku or Yamamoto. But then after reflecting on how Kyoraku managed things and the decisions he made, like pushing Unohana to fight Zaraki or releasing Aizen Sasuke from the Mugen, I realized that Kyoraku actually revived something that Yamamoto had built 1000 years ago and had forgotten about it. And this was the idea of fighting for the sake of the sincerity, not for pride or honor. Thus Kyoraku's taking over as a leader of the Gotei 13 gave him a greater space to demonstrate his strong character in managing things and making bold decisions that no one else could make, except him. And what is most remarkable here about Kyoraku is that he made decisions and guided the Gotei 13 through situations despite the hardship he faced, like the death of the old man as we said, and the sacrifice of his close friend Ukitake, and the heavy burden he carried with his second sword, the sacred Issei sword Hakyuken. Indeed guys, Kyoraku in a short time demonstrated that he was a trustworthy Shinigami, capable of being the new Sotaicho of the Gotei 13, a Sotaicho able to lead the Shinigamis without traditional rules, but in a way that aligns with the circumstances the Shinigamis and the world are facing. So guys, what do you think about Kyoraku as a Sotaicho and his role in this arc? Tell me guys your opinions in the comments, and see you in my next video.